Hey guys, Tyler from Righteous Gaming here. Thanks for taking the time to watch my channel. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Our next goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So this past weekend, we were in Brazil for the Calling São Paolo. And let me tell you, it was a great weekend. It was really cool to see all the excitement from players there, as this was Brazil's first Tier 3 event. So today I wanted to talk about a little bit of a recap from our travel to Sao Paulo. I also want to talk about some of the latest news from High Seas. Then I wanted to look forward and talk about what our calendar looks like for the rest of the season. But first, I want to talk about Brazil. The Brazilian Flesh and Blood community is awesome. Lots of cool players, lots of great players, lots of passionate players. If you haven't already, check out the finals of the Calling São Paolo on the LSS YouTube channel. You can see that when the Brazilian player that won actually wins, there was a lot of excitement and energy in the video. A lot of his friends came up and hugged him, congratulated him, and I can tell you from being there that this excitement was universal throughout the entire event hall. Once players found out that he won, the entire event hall stood up and cheered and screamed, and they were rooting on their fellow countrymen. And so it was really cool to see an entire community cheering and being supportive of one of their own winning one of these big Flesh and Blood events. And I'm excited to see how those players do at future Tier 4 events and the Pro Tours, at Worlds. I think that there's a lot of good players there, and it's cool to see how they've grown as a community since being officially introduced into the game just over a year ago. But because they've only been introduced to the game for a little over a year, they don't have as many singles as they need to fulfill their community. So when I heard about this, I brought extra singles to the event. I was actually the only vendor that went to Brazil, and so I made sure to stock up and bring more singles than what I usually do to an event. And I can tell you that they loved all the singles. I sold most of my singles that weekend. I sold most of the cards. Anything playable sold that weekend. And it felt great because the players there were very appreciative. They were very thankful that someone would come and bring a lot of cards to them to help supply their community. We did a lot of buys. We did a lot of sells. We did a lot of trades this weekend. So overall, it was a great weekend for us. And whenever Brazil has another calling, I'll be there. I'll be there supplying singles, selling dice, selling play mats and sleeves. And if you are on the edge about going, if you're thinking about going to Brazil for a calling, my advice is that you should go because it's a great place, it's a great community, and I think everyone who can go should make Brazil a top priority for them to travel to for Flesh and Blood. But I also wanted to show off some cool purchases. So I purchased a few cards while I was there, a couple of the highlights. First, I got a Cold Foil Ira. This was a skirmish promo you can get for winning right now. I don't have time to go to any skirmishes this season, but Ira is one of the two heroes I play, Ira and Katsu. So I was able to get a Cold Foil Ira, which is going right in my deck. I'm pretty happy about that. Speaking of Ira, I also got a Marvel Ira, graded 9.5 with a 10 subgrade. These are getting a lot rarer to come by, a lot harder to get, and so I wasn't expecting to get one in Brazil, but it was exciting to acquire this card as well. I also got a couple more content creator promos, Imperial Seal of Command and the Diabolic Offering. These cards actually complete my set of content creator promos, and so now I have one of each that they've released so far, and so that's pretty exciting. There's going to go into my binder to hold on to and keep, because I really like the content creator promos. I think it's really cool that LSS will support content creators in that way by giving them a special card. So those have good memories, especially as I'm trying to produce more content for you guys. And finally, I got some Draw My Fealty tokens from one of the Brazilian artists there, Lucio Cervelo. And I think those are pretty cool. He signed them all for me, and so these are going to be a fond memory of my time to Brazil. I also got a resource token from my friend Kenneth in Costa Rica. Kenneth I knew playing Fab from back during COVID days. Kenneth would be in all of the armories, all the skirmishes, because during COVID, we got into Flesh and Blood, and you could only play on webcam. And so we played a lot over webcam. This was my first time meeting Kenneth, and he gave me one of these Costa Rican resource tokens. And Costa Rica also has a special place in my heart because it's where my wife and I went on our honeymoon. So I'll definitely be using this. I'll definitely be playing with this. So thank you, Kenneth. So if you want to keep track of your cards online digitally and track the value of them over time, I recommend going to website findoscollection.com, and there you can actually manage your collection. You can see the price, how the price rises, how the price falls over time, and track your collection pretty easily that way. You can use promo code Righteous to get your first month free trial for the website. Next, I want to open up a gem pack for you guys. I was able to acquire some gem packs there. And so I haven't opened many of these yet. So I just wanted to open one, see what we get. Could be better. But I've already opened a few of these. Doing different takes of this video. So I got a Fire Vein and a Kunai that I opened earlier. So I wanted to show that to you guys. But yeah, we're going to be traveling a lot for different callings. And so if you want to keep up to date and keep track of our travels, join our Discord channel, our Righteous Gaming server. I added a channel in there for our travel blog. So we'll be posting pictures, maybe some videos about our travels, where we're going, how we're doing. And if you're ever at any of these events, please stop by the booth. I'd love to see you. I'd love to say hi. Yeah, so next thing I want to talk about was High Seas. They announced that High Seas will be having these treasure packs. Now, I really want to talk about these treasure packs because I'm really excited for these. As a partial collector of the game myself, I really like when I can know the rarity of my cards. I like knowing how many cards are out there because it makes my card feel a little bit more special. Makes me desire it a little bit more, and I think I speak the same for a lot of collectors out there. So to know that there are 17 one-of-ones in these treasure packs is something that's really exciting, and I hope to get my hands on one of them. And we're just thinking about what they could be. I think this is like the 17th set for Flesh and Blood, and there's 17 one-of-ones, so maybe that's a coincidence, but maybe that's not. Maybe it has something to do with it. Maybe there's a Cold Foil Marvel Fable, one-of-one for each Fable. Maybe there's some test prints in there. There's a lot of cool possibilities that they could do with this slot. So I'm excited to open my boxes, to try my luck at these, and to see what kind of treasure I can get through these packs. Also, they announced that there's going to be 3 different box arts. I think that's pretty cool because there's a lot of people that like to collect one of each sealed box, and this is going to allow for those collectors to have one of each art. And I think it's cool for mixing it up. For when I'm opening boxes, I can see different arts instead of seeing the same art each time. And so it's a little change, but I think it's a pretty cool change. Next, they announced the Gravy Bones Armory deck. What I like about this Armory deck is that it's interchangeable between the Blitz and the CC formats. They said that the CC cards will have a little CC logo on them, so that when players are playing between different formats, they can just take out all the CC cards while they're playing a Blitz game, and when they're playing a CC game, they can add in those cards. And so I think this is a great change for new players to be able to understand what makes a Blitz deck, what makes a CC deck, and gives people who don't have 5 copies of each card the ability and ease to transfer between formats. And finally, they announced their world premiere, some of the promos, some of the packages. They announced the new snatches that resemble the game Mahjong, and I heard that there was a little bit of thematic lore behind snatching tiles in Mahjong. I think that's really cool from the lore perspective. Really cool thing that they're doing. So I'm going to be going to Taiwan. I'll be collecting these cards myself, and I think it's a really cool incentive for players to get out and to go to these events. And finally, they also have talked about how they're going to be changing up the pre-releases for High Seas. I know that U.S. Nationals is on release weekend, and so there are going to be a lot of players that need cards to play in Nationals. However, one of the most recent dev talks, they talked about how they're going to be giving stores most or all of their allocation on pre-release weekend. And they're going to allow stores to run draft events, constructed events, sealed events, as many events as they want, and so that players are going to be able to get the cards that they need a week before Nationals. And so I think this is a great change that helps the players, and I want to commend LSS for doing that. And it's exciting to me as a vendor, because as a vendor I can go to U.S. Nationals and I'm going to sell a lot of cards on release weekend, but I want players to shop at their local game stores first. I want local game stores to be the primary place that players are able to get cards. And as a vendor, I want to be their secondary place. I want to be the place where they go to fill holes in their collections, to pick up the last couple of cards they need. I don't want them to rely on me at an event to buy their entire playset of cards, because that can get expensive for them. I don't want them to come to me to be their first choice, be scrambling on Thursday night, Friday morning trying to get the cards. I want them to come to these events with their decks already made, with the cards already procured. And so the fact that they're allowing stores to sell their boxes and get a lot of boxes on pre-release weekend is a really good change, in my opinion. And so looking forward to the rest of our schedule, in a couple of weeks we'll be in London at the Pro Tour vending. And so if you're there, please stop by the booth, say hi, buy some cards, trade in some cards, we'll make some deals. I'll be in Taiwan. I'm not sure if I'll be vending yet, but I'll at least be there. If I'm not vending, I'll be playing the events. I'll be enjoying the event, trying to play Calling. I haven't played a Calling for a while, so that'll be exciting. And then we're also approved to vend at Nationals in Vegas in June, and so we'll be there as well. So yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you guys at events. But overall, the past couple weeks has been great for Flesh and Blood, with all the announcements, all the events, and I think that there's a lot of hype for High Seas. And so I'm really looking forward to seeing what LSS is going to be doing with these heroes in the future. So it's a great time to be a Flesh and Blood player right now.